Hello, everybody, and a very good evening. Welcome to the premiere of Deviant Diners, a 7th edition Call of Cthulhu game set in 1920s England, in case none of the outfits gave anything away. I'm going to give a quick thanks to our sponsors, Roll20, which we also will be using for our dice rolls and some maps. Tabletop Loot for dice, which I'm not allowed to buy anymore because I have too many. So Nerdware, Devon Rue, who makes amazing maps, which you might have seen on Critical Role. And of course, we have a Patreon that you can join to help support the stream, and you can pay with subs and you can pay with bits. Subs and bits actually give our darling players perks in game. You can buy them an advantage on a roll, see if they survive a little longer, or you can buy them a little extra sanity, single sanity, 1 point. And if you want to hang out with us before or after streaming, we have a Discord that you can join, which is currently being linked in chat. And I think it will be time for my lovely players to start introducing themselves. Let's go clockwise and start with Captain Elliot.
Good evening. My name is Simon Payne. I'll be playing Captain Sebastian Elliot. He's an ex-captain in the military, having left the army at the end of the First World War, and has since spent his time as a gentleman about town, enjoying himself.
Very cool. Princess Sophia, please.
Good day, all. My name is Lana. I will be playing Her Royal Highness, the Princess Sophia Helena Louisa van Oranje-Nassau, a Dutch princess bored of royal life in the Netherlands on a trip.
Very cool. We have someone a little less titled, but no less amazing, Miss McCone.
Hey, I'm Kate, also known as Undead K on the internet. I will be playing Irene McCone. She's basically a jazz singer from the US, moved to London because prohibition sucks, guys.
And that is all there is to the story.
Exactly.
We have, parties, things get wild. Sometimes you need a little assistance. Dr. Roy. Who is muted, I think. We can't hear you.
I sure was, sorry. Hi, I'm Callie. I'm going to be playing Dr. Fiera Roy, who is a doctor who sells a miracle drug to people. It's going to be great. He's British, so you're going to hear that great accent.
Promises. And then we have, last but certainly not least, Miss Johnson.
Hi, I am Jenna. I am playing Billy Johnson. She is American-born archaeologist who has been living in France doing a dig and is now in London working at the British Museum.
All right. I am Aniek. You can find me on Twitter at Aniekster, and I am the keeper for this delightful little horror game. We have 8 weeks, and we shall see how many are left. Well, standing isn't the hard part. In their right mind by the end. But for now, we start in 1920s England, and all of our characters have been invited to a party, a very special evening at Salisbury Hall, courtesy of Lady Carmen Dorsey. Lady Carmen Dorsey is quite what's the proper word? Because we can't start the gossip right away. She's quite infamous. She was the only child of a titled landowner who also ran an export emporium, Dorsey and Sons, which he inherited from his father. But alas, no sons. So very much against the going morals of the times, when dear old dad died, Lady Dorsey became head of Dorsey and Sons. And even though we're a few years out from what was currently known as the Great War, The Dorsey estate has done very well for itself. They're one of the wealthy ones. And Lady Dorsey is known to be unusual, a rather unusual lady. There are parties that aren't very much tea parties. It's mainly jazz and other salacious festivities. There's drinking, there's cards, there's gambling. She should be getting married. Hasn't happened yet. Although there's rumors.
There are
about
parties that aren't very much
all
tea
kinds
parties.
of.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
There are definitely love interests, but no marriage prospects. Some of you have met her briefly at other occasions. All of you have heard of her. Some of you have heard of each other. But for now, I think I'd like to know, you've received this invite. The party is quite short notice. Usually you get these things a few weeks out. This is it's actually quite sudden. I'd like to know how you respond. How do you prepare? What's your character doing to make sure? Because getting invited to these parties is a bit of a social coup. These parties are a big thing, and suddenly you're invited. What do you do?
Well, obviously I'm invited. For me, this is not a social coup or anything. I am one of the things people want to see in society at the moment. So I'll just grab one of my mediocre dresses, have them packed by my lady's maid, and see if there's something fun at this party.
Excellent.
All right. Well, so this isn't the first fancy party that Billy's been to, although it's not something that's part of her regular social calendar. But she will be attending with her coworker from the British Museum, who came over with her from the other dig. He was working with her on the dig in France. And his family's very wealthy and connected. And that is how she got the invite to the party in the first place.
And
So
your
she's-
co-worker was Mr. Devereaux, right?
That is correct. Yes.
All right.
I think that Dr. Fiora Roy, of course, is going to be very excited to have gotten this invitation. He's been wanting to move into these kind of circles for years now. So he's already readying himself. He's canceling all of his appearances he was supposed to make today and getting his servants all in a rush to pick out a proper evening attire for the evening.
All right. Two people who need to make preparations.
Irene, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. So I'll just be getting the house ready, make sure it's nice, tight, locked up, that sort of thing, and grab a couple of evening gowns, sort of a deal. It's always good to have an outfit to change into in case you need, depends on the tone.
How much time do we have between the receiving of the invitation and the actual event?
I'd say you get the invites midweek and the party's on the Saturday. So about 3 days. Not enough. Like if you make a rush job, you can have something custom made.
Mm-hmm. No, I assume that we'll be traveling to Salisbury Hall.
Yes,
so
it's a bit outside of London.
I'll have Reeves pack the bags, and we'll take the Phantom.
Of course you will. Very nice. Anybody else now that someone is upping the game by having a Phantom? All right.
It is a bit rude to send an invitation so late, but I am rather bored, so why not?
I won't be taking the Phantom, but I'll be taking my Silver Ghost. So,
Excellent.
If no other preparations need to be made, we can happily skip ahead to the Saturday. You are expected at 4 p.m. Well, there will be, of course, drinks before dinner.
Well, an opportunity to change, I hope.
Well, before dinner, obviously, and potentially after dinner. It is a bit of a way into the country, and there are guest quarters, but assuming you can stay over is a little. Her parties do usually last until morning without any sleeping.
Oh.
So consider
Okay.
doing this when you pack your bags.
In which case, can I have Reeves and phoned around and see whether or not there is a hotel or inn that's located close by that we can go down the night before and stay over?
Nothing closer by than still the edge of London. You're still quite a ways out.
Okay.
I'll send a note to Lady Dorsey saying I would be delighted to stay over and would love it if I could get a room with a bit of a view.
You get a note back that there will be guest quarters for you made ready, which is given to understand that you can bring up to 3 servants, but no more, and they will be staying in
Obvious.
servants' quarters.
Yes.
Just no, please, entourage, no more than 3 people. It's only a summer home.
I will send a quick note back that I will surely only take 1 to not burden her further.
Excellent.
How long would the drive take from, say,
Yeah.
the suburbs of London out
I
to
am
Salisbury Hall?
trying to do the math, but I don't know how fast one of your old-timey cars goes.
Well, if you can tell me if you give me the distance, I can figure it out.
I actually downloaded a map of London surroundings in the 1920s. So I'm trying to math, but I'm really bad at math, which is why I became an IT specialist.
And why you like to play with shiny math rocks?
Oh, but then it's fun. You can math things to death.
So for Billy, her coworker Nathaniel Devereaux, his family has a property nearby. So they will be staying at his family's property the night before, and then obviously going back there once the dinner is done, assuming they're still alive, I guess.
For as far as you know, there's no reason you would not be alive by the end of this. It's just a party. Everything is fine. Everything's fine.
Nothing to see here.
No. Nothing suspicious going on here at all. I figured I might as well upload it, so hopefully you will soon have a map of London in the handouts.
Yes, I see it.
See as well.
Brilliant.
Oh, I love maps and math.
Great.
I love
for me how
maps.
long just math for me how long it would take.
Okay, I'm just waiting for it to get bigger so I can.
I think that Fierro just brings with him, he's got one kind of like dedicated servant that's like a teenage boy, but he doesn't speak English. He only speaks Spanish. So Fierro's just like, stay with you're going to stay with the servants and I'm going to party. And when I'm ready to go, you're going to drive me home. That's it.
All right.
Doesn't matter how far it is. This is your job.
That is an entirely fair assessment of your roles in society, yes.
Okay. I can kind of see the map. Where on the map is
Salisbury Hall is I actually found it on the map. It's north. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Northeast.
Yeah.
If you go, it was near Chingford, I think, near Hill End.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I know where that is. Okay.
Yeah, near Hill End.
Okay, from where I am in Lowndes Square.
Yeah.
That would take about 2 hours in the rolls.
Your decision if that's close enough. I mean, the thing is, a lot of the properties around it are also private residences. So unless you're actually friends with the people at Higham Hall or Woodford, there's not a lot of public places to stay?
It's possible I might know one of the sons or the daughters of those families, but
Of course, you know their daughters.
well, entirely possible.
Sounds about right.
Sorry, I read your character description. I know what you do.
He enjoys the company of attractive young ladies. What can I say?
No judgments here. All right, so it takes you about. It would take you about 2 hours if you didn't stay somewhere else.
Yeah, traveling from the flat to there, so that's fine. I'll stay at my flat overnight, and then travel. We'll leave my place around about 1:30, 2 o'clock, so we're arriving on time.
Perfect. Related question, not in character. Can you guys actually hear my music?
No.
No.
I was afraid
No.
of that. All right, I will also fight with the music while we do other things. Any other noteworthy modes of transportation?
Well, whatever the Montgomerys will lend me.
Well, they will be going as well.
Oh, joy.
They will, yes, they will not let you out of their sight. Well, it's not in general, but definitely not at this kind of party. As well as the fact that Lord and Lady Montgomery are actually quite close friends with the Dorseys. In fact, you're having, I don't know, lunch, breakfast, brunch, something with a mimosa at 11:30 a.m. And you have to listen to Lord Montgomery blathering on about the good old days when Lord Dorsey was still around and had his daughter well in hand before she started running wild like this. Here's the most ridiculous things coming out of Salisbury's Hall the last few weeks. It's just shameful.
Well,
But
she
we're
kept
going.
it standing. She kept it standing. That's
Oh,
important.
well, they did more than keep it standing. They're loaded. It's ridiculous. But still, there is ways in which things should be done, and she's not doing them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, brunch, yay.
I will down the mimosa.
That is entirely understandable. Lorden, you might be arriving a little late because Lady Montgomery is packing and repacking and scolding the servants. And
I will put my hand on her shoulder and say, Edna, you're always beautiful. I will make sure I'll even lend you my lady's maid to do your hair just as you like it. We need to go.
No, I need to make sure
Now.
I bring the right. No,
a princess can't be late.
A princess is never late. She arrives exactly when she means to.
Chop chop, please.
I just need to select my jewelry and then we'll be off.
Would you like to borrow mine?
I would love to borrow some of yours.
Okay, can we go now then? You can borrow the blue one.
The sapphires.
Yes.
Wondrous, thank you. You know, your parents made it sound like they would be really put out by having you around, but it hasn't been half as bad as they said it would be.
I know, Edna. I'm a delight to be around, and I love your company. Now, can we go?
Oh, yes, darling. I will not say what I was about to say. Onward. Unless someone is planning on hot air ballooning in, I think it's safe to say most of you will be arriving either by car, either by your own car or by a rented version. Horses are also acceptable.
Can I retcon in a hot air balloon? Because
if Fiera had access, or like one of those crop dust in World War I planes, if he had access.
or a Zeppelin even.
Yeah, you know, I heard all the rage. All right. I think considering mode of transport and timing, Captain Elliot is the first to arrive at our little soiree, which I did not put in the invite because I couldn't get the E with the thingy on it.
Ah. Well, I'll turn up and say, well, I have my man Reeves here. I assume that he'll be staying in the servants' quarters. Where can I ask him to put my bags?
Yes. Well, do you ask this as you arrive at the front entrance?
I assume I'm met by their valet or their
Yes, you
butler.
are being met by their valet. Your bags can go.
Footmen. They're footmen.
I have this whole list of
Sorry.
I have this whole list of 1920s what people from the back of the house are called, and I lost it.
Yeah.
I'm me.
Well, the people who have watched Downton Abbey know the footmen are getting the bags.
I have never watched Downton Abbey, and you can't make me.
Ooh, I can actually. I can make you.
Please don't make me.
So,
Okay.
but
The footman informs your manservant that the bags can go upstairs, second bedroom on the left. It has been set aside for your changing purposes.
Excellent. Reeves, if you take the bags up, my good man, and I'll if you pop up about 6:30 so that I can get changed, that would be marvelous.
Of course, sir.
And I'll saunter into the area and go and introduce myself.
Right. You are led into what is really quite a grand entrance. Like I said before, not all wealthy families made it through the Great War with everything nicely intact. This is actually very nice. It has this nice checkered marble floor, the red rugs, the stately stairs going up, a number of doors, but you are met by Lady Dorsey herself, already in a party mood. Very welcoming. Captain Elliot, how wonderful that you could join us. I've heard so much about you.
It was my pleasure to accept your invitation. Perhaps we can have a little chat a bit later on. I understand that you're now in the import-export business.
Oh, I am. Well, I have been for a while, but bit difficult in the war. Got maybe caught a few times with a little bit of contraband, but that's all behind us. Nothing but legal things now.
I'm so glad to hear it.
Yes. Everything above board, nothing suspicious. I will be greeting other guests first, so please do go into our little seating area, mingle a little before dinner, and of course I'll chat with you later.
Delighted.
And you are led to the side into what is, well, they call it a little sitting area. It is really quite a grand sitting area. It has a grand piano, it has a fireplace, it has hardwood floors. Very nice.
Excellent. I'm gonna have a slow look around.
Are you looking for anything in particular, or just sort of enjoying being amongst wealth?
Enjoying being amongst wealth.
Just soaking it up.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've already established Princess Sophia will be a little late. So who would be next to arrive?
Pierre is probably the closest next to Captain Elliot in proximity.
Mm-hmm. You arrive by car?
Yes.
And servants?
Just the one boy. It's like a 16-year-old lanky kid that does not speak English.
Okay. And
he's got all of his stuff that the boy carries in, and he drives for him and everything. And he's wearing this like great, nice overcoat with these leather gloves that he really favors.
Okay. And did you pack extensively?
He packed appropriately, I would say.
Appropriately, okay. Mm-hmm. No trunks full of
I don't think anything. He has. Yeah, he packed a change of clothes for dinner and like the appropriate amount of things. And I think he's got like a small bag of a couple of other things that pertain to his practice, because you got to always be on that grind.
Yeah, of course. You have to make a living. Well, your I missed all of your characterizations other than 16-year-old. So your 16-year-old is told to put your stuff upstairs in one of the guest rooms that has been assigned in case you wish to refresh yourself before dinner. And you two are led into the entrance.
I think Fiera was like, don't bother with him. Jose does not speak English. Just give him something to eat. He's speaking to the footman that greets him. Just give him something to eat, and when I call for him, he'll come. Don't worry about it.
Of course, sir. Will he be able to take directions to deliver your bags?
Yes, of course. He can understand rudimentary, but don't expect a response, you see.
All right, very well. You are led into the hallway where Lady Dorsey is holding it's a little hard to tell, but it's probably a champagne cocktail, waiting for the more guests to arrive, and goes, "You must be Dr. Roy."
He gives a sweeping bow and dips in and takes her hand to brush a little kiss over her knuckles and says, "The one and only."
Well, welcome to the party. It's really going to be quite a special night. We have a number of interesting things that I think will be very much appealing to you. We have been recently doing import and export with, because I heard, forgive me if this is very rude, I heard you're actually from somewhere near South America? Or you had friends there, or your dealings there, or you have things from there. That's the market we're looking into.
Oh, of course. I do speak the language. I'm not from there myself. I grew up here in London.
Oh, forgive me.
No, it's fine. My dear late mother was from those wild lands south of the United States, of course, yes.
That sounds fascinating. You must tell me more about it after dinner or during dinner, whichever.
Of course, I would be more than happy to.
Wonderful. If you could take place in the sitting room for a little while, mingle, chat, meet people.
I would be honored. Okay, I am going to say Billy arrives next with Nathaniel. And they are arriving by car. He is borrowing one of his father's cars, so it's like a fancy Rolls Royce or something along those lines. And so Billy, obviously, she's a pleb, I guess. She has no servants of her own, but there is like a lady's maid that Nathaniel has, hired, who's familiar with his parents. And so she's going to be accompanying them. They, of course, just have, like extra set of clothes for dinner, but not, like a bag, I guess.
Yeah, you're not going to like redo everything head to toe, switch the dress, call it a day.
Yeah.
Not different stockings, no different colored slip.
No. Just
extra dress.
Basic change.
Princess Sophia doesn't know this, so she can stop her judgmental face.
All right, so they walk in, and Nathaniel does know he does know like the family, but is not, I guess, is not very familiar with the hostess, but they know families. Okay.
Yep.
I think when Fiero sees Billy walk in, he kind of raises his glass to her in an acknowledgement. I think they've met before at functions like this.
Yes.
Probably.
And Billy will give a little wave over, acknowledge his nod, his glass raise.
Would you know Mr. Deverell? Nathaniel?
I'm sorry?
I was just wondering whether or not I might know Nathaniel Deverell.
I think you would be familiar with him. He does reside in France in Paris and not he's
not
only like over in London because he's doing the project with the British Museum, but you would probably know his family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you are both greeted by Lady Dorsey as well. You said you're not quite sure how well Nathaniel and your hostess know each other. But it's a very warm greeting. You're thinking maybe
Okay.
there's a little more than he's been letting on. You're
All
not
right.
sure on what level. You'd have to roll if you want to know details, but there's more than the regular fancy people meeting each other. There's more recognition, more warmth.
Okay.
She's very excited to see you. She's heard many great things about you. She might even, it's a very special evening. Some surprises planned for everyone, but if at any point you feel like doing a little song or something after dinner,
Okay.
of course we'd love it. But don't
Okay.
feel pressured. You're not here to work. You're not here to work. You're here for the party. But should you feel compelled or drunk, either way, wonderful. Just wonderful. So glad Sebastian and Nathaniel brought you.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
She is happy to be here. Billy expresses her interest in being invited to the party and that she is happy to be able to attend.
Everyone's currently mingling in the sitting area prior to dinner, so just go there, just meet people, have a drink, relax.
I was the first to arrive. Was there anybody in the sitting room before I got there?
Well, yes, there were. There was actually a man in his 30s and a woman probably, it's a little hard to tell, but probably mid-20s.
Okay. Well, I'm putting on my most winning smile. I'm going to go over and introduce myself to first the gentleman and then to the lady.
The gentleman introduces himself as Mr. Connor. And the lady introduces herself as Miss Stone. But despite your winning smile, you get the feeling that you're interrupting a bit of conversation. I mean, you had to. They're the only two in the room, and you're told to mingle. But they were having a little.
Well, I would have tried to have waited if I'd seen them chatting. I would have tried to wait for a kind of lull in the conversation to just introduce myself.
You just sort of swoop in as new drinks are being served.
That sort of thing, and then once I've got the introductions, then I'll kind of fade back out a little bit and let them chat. But sort of turn my back to them, but stay close enough that I can catch a snatch of the conversation.
Try and catch a few words.
Yeah.
You can roll me a listen check to see how well you do at this.
No problem.
As we also deal with the arrival of Miss McCown.
Miss McCown's going to go ahead and just park wherever it's, or right up front, sort of a thing. Look for a footman. She came alone.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know too many people in the area, because she's only been living there for a little bit. So, but while waiting for the footman, she's at least going to go and grab her bags herself.
Mm-hmm. As you do this, the footman was already at the top of the stairs, so you don't have to wait very long. He quickly ushers one of their servants to take your bag from you. Clearly, guests don't carry their own bags. I'm very sorry.
Oh, thank you. And she's just going to go right up the stairs and head on in.
Yep. Captain Elliot rolled a 93, which is a lamentable failure, so he can't quite make out the conversation he's trying to eavesdrop on.
I think I'm probably distracted by the delightful painting on the wall.
It's a lovely painting. It's really very pretty. It's just
probably of a hot young girl, or like a younger woman. He's just
almost. Well, it's the painting. It's with the skirt hiked up a little too much.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of shoulder.
Yeah. Nice defined collarbones.
I say, dog.
It's that ankle that really gets you.
Ankle.
Oh, yeah.
Ankle is post-dinner party.
Awesome. Yeah. So I've got no idea what the conversation was.
because that's actually I saw in chat some people haven't played Call of Cthulhu before. I don't know how many people know the rules, but it's you work with percentile die instead of d20, and when you're rolling the die, you're aiming to get under your skill level. So the fact that his skill level is 45 and he rolled a 93 is just.
It's a catastrophically bad roll.
You haven't touched fumble yet, because it would actually say fumble.
Yeah.
In which case you probably slip and fall or something ridiculous like that, but it's not good.
But yeah, I'll back off, and obviously I've backed off so far that I can't hear a word they're saying, so it's all good.
And well, more people start to enter the room. I figure we just get everything into the room first, and then you can decide who you mingle with. Miss McCown is greeted warmly by Lady Dorsey. Immediately handed a champagne cocktail, which have also been handed out in the sitting area, as we're almost at 5 minutes past 4 already. Welcome. I'm so glad you could come.
Pleasure to be here. Or wait, was that?
Yes.
Yep, we heard you.
Okay. We got you. Well, everyone's gathering in the sitting area. So if you could, stay there for a little bit, that would be great. I heard you have stringent opinions on prohibition, so please enjoy your cocktail.
Thank you. Much obliged, much obliged. And she'll offer her hand to shake.
You get a shake back, a gloved hand, even though I don't wear any. Take gloves. And you're escorted into the sitting area, which is actually, it's, like I said, very fancy ballroom. It doesn't feel crowded yet, even though there's already a fair amount of people there. As 3 more arrive. A little late.
No one going to... Oh, there they are. Hi. Yes, the bags are over here. Where's Lady Dorsey? I thought
she's in the entranceway.
Oh, she's not come out to greet. Okay, well, that's fine. Lady Montgomery, would you? Yes.
Lady Montgomery and Lord Montgomery are actually a little bit ahead of you. They seem to know the way here and just go straight on in. And you hear, "Darling child, oh, it's been so long." And you see Lord Montgomery just very continental, kissing Lady Dorsey on both cheeks. While his wife... I haven't
seen them like this.
No, you haven't. Lady Montgomery does the same. "Oh, you're looking so well. I know your father would be proud after he had a little heart attack, but that's neither here nor there. We're just going to go in, yes?" And they just sort of... sorry, my apologies. Allow me to introduce Princess Sophia. Princess Sophia, Lady Dorsey, Princess Sophia.
Delighted.
As are we. We're so glad you could join us tonight. Please do enjoy the party.
I shall. And this is a lovely home you keep here.
Oh, thank you. We spend a lot of time on the upkeep after everything settled down a little.
Yeah. She might be a bit... I am extremely tall for English people. I don't know what I am in feet.
How tall were you again?
1,84. So I think I'm 6'1" or 6'2".
What in metric?
6'1". Yeah, you're 6'1".
Oh, Fiera's taller than you then.
She's 184 centimeters. She's 6'1".
Yeah.
182 is 6'1".
I am a very glamorous looking princess, but I'm also 6'1", broad-shouldered, and not as slim as the fashions would prescribe. So she might be looking up at me.
Probably. She's not... Lady Dorsey's not a tall woman. She is the fashionable kind of slender. Everything about her is fashion. This is...
Yeah.
This is so hip it hurts. You can try and see if she's judging you.
I would like to see if she's judging me.
I think, let me check. That is,
That would be
do insight, we do
psychology, I think.
psychology. That would be psychology.
Yeah. And that would be the green button?
It would be the green button. Oh, a hard success. Nicely done. So successes go by regular, hard, and extreme. And in this case, you have a hard success, which means you get, in this case, a little more information than you normally would. Sometimes the like a regular success isn't good enough, then the DC is higher. You need a hard success. You get the feeling she isn't judging you at all.
I will give her not my court smile, but my actual smile.
Very nice. She is judging Lord Montgomery hard.
Is there any way I could give her a look that says "same girl" without doing the actual face?
Oof, that's a hard look to give without doing the actual face. But you try. You get a little, yeah, You get a little the bro nod, but 1920s ladies.
Yes.
The little flick of the eyebrows, just the tiniest.
Yeah, just the tiniest bit. Just the fan going a little. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can follow your I was going to call them escorts, but that might not be the right word. Your chaperones.
My hosts.
Yes.
They host me.
They do host you. They also definitely chaperone you as a unbound princess into
I am 30 years old.
dining area. Yes. Just because you're a spinster doesn't mean you're not single. As you enter dining room, sitting room, you see the aforementioned Sir Connor, Miss Stone, and a selection of other people who I think haven't actually described themselves yet. So perhaps people would like to tell us what they actually look like as well.
Dr. Fiera Roy is, when you think of a doctor, you might think of a kind of average sized man, but he is not that. He is built like a linebacker, also obscenely large. He's about 6'4". I don't know what that is in European.
195.
Yeah, 195 centimeters. What do y'all do?
It's meters and centimeters.
Centimeters, yes.
Millimeters would have been like,
teeny tiny, yeah, that makes sense. And very thick, probably like 270 pounds. I don't again know what that is for y'all, but he's very big and dressed very nicely, always wearing like these like nice leather gloves with this combed over hair and this fantastic goatee, the doctor's beard, as I researched. As you can see, I've artistically done that on my own face.
For those interested, 270 pounds is about 123 kilos.
Yeah.
For a man that tall, that's
not bad,
but not big.
No, exactly.
Yeah, is it maybe 300?
Probably in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he's like he's not he's like jacked. You know what I mean? Like he's
then I think you're a little more than 270 because I'm
maybe
going by my brother. Yeah, that's more. Yeah. I think we lovingly described many of you as beasts when we discussed characters.
That's
yes,
princess to you.
I've affectionately dubbed him
6'4" and you're 285.
Yeah,
you're Brock Lesnar size, and he's a big old boy.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Actually, he's built like Brock Lesnar. So yeah, he's just dummy thick and big, and has he's not like super handsome, but he's got a good smile. You know what I mean? You trust the doctor.
Of course you do. He's a medical professional. Why wouldn't you trust him?
He's got a stethoscope in his pocket. Don't worry about it.
He's just happy to see
all
you.
the party.
Yeah, he has it. Don't worry, he's got it. I put it in his like belongings.
Yeah. All right. What other colorful people do we find here?
Okay, Billy is she is about 5'7", 5'8". She's not very tall, She is probably between like 180 and 200 pounds. So she does have, she's a little thick, but she's also very fit because um, of working at archaeology digs. So she's got her arms are well defined, muscly. So that's where some of the weight comes in. But she has a very nice figure, despite she's in good shape. She If you kind of want to think of Queen Latifah in Chicago with a little bit more muscle, that's sort of what she looks like.
I think everybody
She,
likes to think of Queen Latifah in
I
Chicago.
know, right? Exactly. The
absolutely right.
dresses,
I know.
So,
I mean, she had glitters on her garter belt.
yeah,
Just goals.
just there you go. So she is dressed, fashionably, if not, maybe a little like utilitarian, not a lot of frills or anything like that, but she, has a nice dress on. And she, of course, you'll see her dinner dress, but it's again very nice looking, very fashionable, but it's not like rich people because she does make good money as an archaeologist, but she's not at the level of probably Lady Dorsey or of course Princess Sophia.
Yeah, there's like upper level, and then there's the 1%ers.
Right.
Mm.
Right. And I can probably go ahead and say that her clothing probably was borrowed. Nathaniel has a sister, so she may or may not have borrowed her dinner dress from Nathaniel's sister. So.
At least in this area, you have enough ladies, maids, and servants who can quickly tailor it to you. So
Yes.
even borrowed is
Exactly.
usually quite well fitted.
Exactly, and that's part
no
of why
one has to know.
Right. And that's part of why the lady's maid is with them in the first place, because of course Billy is very independent and, kind of poo-pooed the idea at first of having a lady's maid, but
you need one.
Exactly.
Perfectly understandable.
So, and then Nathaniel also, he is just because he's with her, he is probably very typically French. Like his father is French, his mother is British, and so all the money is kind of on the mother's side, although his father's very well off, but the properties that are here by the hall, that's owned by his mother's side of the family.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So he's very well turned out, and he will be, of course, probably extra for dinner.
He's starting toned down, and then when dinner starts, he's got it's his moment to shine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he knows that he kind of has to uphold the family name as well, so he can't be showing up to dinner like his
mother would hear.
Yes, exactly. It would get back to his mother. She would not be happy.
Grounded for a week. No. Thank you.
All right.
I guess I'll just jump in here. Irene, unlike everybody else, is not very tall. She stands at 5'2", has dark brown hair, hazel eyes that tend to be like, some days it looks more brown, some days it's more green. She's dressed very well. Very nice, elegant, but there's that hint of that she kind of sticks out. She's got that flapper look to her.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's also really, really dainty. Not very muscular, that sort of thing. She looks like she could probably stand to eat a few good meals. So yeah.
Cocaine chic.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, she's small.
Which was
it's good for
completely legal
you.
at the time.
I said it's very good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Totally in fashion.
I mean, the doctor might even prescribe it along
We'll
with
have to
the
talk
morphine.
about that. I'd love medical
With a
science
little bit
at
of luck.
this point is whiskey and nonsense. So yes.
Captain Elliot is about 6'2" tall. He's quite. He hasn't got a very big build. He's quite a sort of slender man, but he looks as if he's in pretty good shape. He's very good looking. A small sort of David Niven style moustache, and seems to be quite charming. And the way he dresses is not completely fashionable, but very smart.
Like Lady Dorsey is so hip it hurts. You're almost too cool for fashion.
Absolutely.
You're just waiting for fashion to catch back up to you.
Precisely.
Excellent. We also have, like I said, Miss Stone, who is probably about mid-20s. Also the fashionable hair. I don't know how many of you would be scandalized by this, but she's wearing pants. Very well-fitted ones. Cute silk blouse, blonde hair, currently smoking, and talking to who some of you know to be Mr. Connor, who is how do you say this? If the color brown was a person, it would be Mr. Connor. Nothing about him stands out. Everything's just average.
So he's more like the color taupe.
Yeah,
Oh,
beige.
yeah, beige.
Yeah.
Very beige.
Beige.
Well, his hair is brown and his eyes are brown and his suit is kind of brown and you're just very...
And he's very sandy.
You don't really
he-
get the
is his
feeling
hair
you
kind of
need to
thinny?
go talk to him.
Oh, Fiero wants to talk to him.
Oh,
Is his hair
probably.
kind of, he's kind of like just round-shouldered looking.
He's pretty fit. He looks like a man who plays polo, but he does have like the little thinning hair. And very clean shaven in the look of someone who probably can't grow a real beard.
I think Fiero goes over to where they're speaking and starts like patting his little waistcoat, his vest. Like, oh, does anyone have a light? I seem to have misplaced my own.
Miss Stone actually flicks you a quick light.
He
you
leans
go.
in and lights his little cigarette, and he's like, "So, how are you all enjoying Lady Dorsey's gracious hosting this evening?"
Well, wonderful as ever. Again, it's Miss Stone speaking. You get the feeling that Mr. Connor is a little, he's perfectly happy to wait while others talk.
Yeah, he's like making eye contact with her, but he's glancing at the man a lot.
Yeah, I get it. Miss Stone seems to be a little. She's the kind of woman who likes it when people pay attention to her. So the fact that you're making eyes at the man, she's not very keen on you right now. She's very, pleasant conversation. Talking about the ambiance and oh, you should have been at the last party. It was amazing. I didn't go home for 2 days.
That sounds fantastic. Not good for your health, though. You should really get enough sleep at night. Did you know that
Please, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
That's true. I suppose you will. Although all your synapses will be gone. So good luck with that.
I say 2-day party. I may have to see the doctor.
Well, perhaps that's why Lady Dorsey thought fit to invite me then, good sir.
One can only hope you brought your medicine cabinet with you.
Oh, fear not. He reaches into his jacket and pulls out a stethoscope and shows it to you.
Well, that wasn't quite what I meant, but nevertheless.
I brought all sorts of my instruments of the trade, just in case. You never know who's going to go into cardiac rheumatism at the drop of a hat, you know. So I've got a number of instruments. But fear not, all of you, the doctor is in. Isn't that right, good sir? And he, like, claps his hand on the Mr. Connors?
Mr.
shoulder?
Connor.
Mr.
You do
Connors.
get a cocktail raise from Lord Montgomery. Ah, wondrous! I won't have to constrain myself this time.
Yes, go all out.
Lord Montgomery, please watch your heart.
Oh no, I don't have to. That wonderful chap over there will do it for me.
Yes.
Another, please.
Lady Montgomery, does he know where he's going to sleep? You know what happened last time.
Oh, I assume he'll find his way into the garden again at some point.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Is there anyone here you can introduce me to so I cannot stand here in a corner?
Her eyes scan the room and very deliberately go past Captain Elliot.
Oh.
And they just sort of walk you over to Miss Stone and Mr. Connor and introduce you. Princess Sophia, this is Miss Stone and Mr. Connor. Miss Stone is a friend of the Dorsey family, and I must confess, really not quite sure what Mr. Connor has been up to. He's been abroad for a while, so I'm sure he'll have many fascinating stories to regale us with over dinner.
Yes. Miss Stone, I admire your way of dress. A modern woman shouldn't be held back by the fashions. I love it.
Oh, thank you, dear. I feel exactly the same way. Big drag of her cigarette.
Where does one get one of those?
There are warehouses that are starting to add them to their collections. I have mine made.
Yeah, well, I figured I don't shop off the rack.
Yes.
Myself.
Never say yeah. Say yes.
My dear, English is my second language, and
I know,
would
I'm
only
helping.
hope that you would speak your first as well as I do my second.
Pierre definitely just like white guy blinked like.
Yeah.
I'm going to say in perfect German. I totally agree with your sentiment, my lady.
Dankeschön.
Claro que
And
sí.
I'm going to go up and deliberately ignoring Lord and Lady Montgomery. I'm going to introduce myself to the princess.
Oof.
Good evening.
Delighted.
Good evening, princess. It's an absolute honor to meet you.
I know, right? Shall we have a drink?
I would be absolutely delighted. What can I get somebody to bring for you?
Well, I think we should walk that way ourselves. Just out of the crowd, maybe. That way.
and I will pointedly escort the princess in that direction.
Yes. Let's
If you
look at this
wondered
very
if-
interesting book.
If you wondered if Miss Stone was judging you, you don't have to roll for that. Yes, she was.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. These people are, well, I wish I could say interesting, but I was bored in the Netherlands and now I'm bored here. Are you any fun?
I'm sure that I can find ways of helping the princess relieve her boredom. Perhaps interesting games after dinner, some cards or some chess or something else.
I'll go for the something else because cards or chess have been thrown at me every evening by Lady Montgomery.
I completely understand. Perhaps some dancing.
Perhaps. Or maybe we could wreak some havoc. Trip someone with, I don't know, be someone drunk who shouldn't be.
My lady, I admire your sense of humor. And I'm going to spend some time making small talk and kind of occasionally glancing over to Lady and Lord Montgomery with a huge smile on my face.
Yeah. I will grab a book out of bookcase and pretend to be so interested in this book.
Absolutely. And I'm going to be doing this exactly the same, pretending to be interested as well.
You do see Lord Montgomery is hitting the champagne cocktails with a vengeance. He seems to be also very interested in Mrs. Stone's attire.
He would be.
Yes, he would be.
Billy is going to go over to Miss Stone and introduce herself. I'm going to say Nathaniel stays over by the bar. He is also a heavy drinker as well, I guess. When you have nothing else to do in the countryside, that maybe that's like, but yeah, Billy, she's going to have a glass of champagne in her hand. She's going to walk over to Miss Stone. Hello there. I'm Billy Johnson. How are you?
Hello, Eileen Stone. Quite well. I don't believe I've heard of you.
Oh, I'm an academic. These aren't quite the circles I usually run in, but Nathaniel Devereaux is my friend. He invited me tonight, and I am happy to be here.
Well, that's really quite wonderful. I'm sorry, I missed your connection to Lady Montgomery.
Oh, Mr. Devereaux, who I came with, his family and Lady Montgomery's family are well acquainted. They actually just live right up the road. They have a property there, and that's how I got invited. But I really came over to just say that I love your attire.
Thank you.
Just so everyone knows, Billy generally goes around wearing trousers all the time as well. It is sort of a habit, like, she wouldn't be wearing her best dress when she's digging in the dirt. But for this one occasion, she actually does have a dress on. She was talked out of wearing trousers by Nathaniel because he did say that would not be appropriate for this situation. But she is impressed that Miss Stone came in the outfit that she came in, and she just, I just wanted to say I really do love your trousers. Where did you get them from?
Thank you so much. Well, like I said, there's a few ladies' warehouses that are starting to sell them. But these I had made. I have someone in London, quite a forward thinker, who is perfectly happy to tailor women's trousers.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. I must get the name from you maybe after dinner, because I would love to visit this little shop.
I have my card. I have her card in my room. I'll get it to you with dinner.
Miss Keeper?
Yes?
What color are the trousers Miss Stone is wearing?
Would you believe it? They're white.
Yeah.
Yes.
The trousers, I've been informed by chat I'm not allowed to call them pants, and I live to serve, so I will try and call them trousers. I'll last for all of 15 minutes before I forget. But the trousers are white, and she has this like shimmery silver blouse. All very well fitted. All very showing off her figure.
It certainly seems like you might be being. They should really give you a premium for all this advertisement you're doing for the shop. You seem to really, really love your tailor.
I really do. Oh, she's wonderful. It's just very hard to find people who do what she does,
I wonder if I'll send my wife that way as well. I think she would love a pair of trousers herself.
Wondrous. I may have to start writing out cards rather than handing out the ones I have, but nothing that can't be arranged, I'm sure.
Lovely.
Ms. Johnson, it's so good to see you again. Do enjoy your company at these little get-togethers we always find each other in.
Yes, it is. It's lovely to see you as well, Dr. Roy. How have you been keeping yourself?
Tip-top shape as always. You know how I favor the calisthenics and the virility of my medicine, of course.
Of course, of course.
And who's this person over here? I haven't spoken a word. Excuse me, madam. He's speaking to Irene. Would you like to
Yeah?
join us? Would you like a cigarette or perhaps just good conversation with Miss Johnson, Miss Stone?
Sure, why not? She's just
Oh.
gonna kind of casually walk on over.
Is that an American accent I can hear?
Yeah, from New York.
New York. Oh, fantastic. I used to practice quite a bit over in New York.
Oh,
New York's just-
really?
Yes. I have quite the business running in Manhattan currently.
Oh, that's where my parents live.
Hmm. Well, perhaps we know. Perhaps I've treated your father then, huh?
Maybe. She's
He
just
went
like Billy is gonna go over to her. Oh, it's so nice to have another American at one of these gatherings. I'm used to it just being, Brits or French, the French. But
oh
it's
yeah, and
nice.
they're all so prim and proper.
I know. Exactly.
So what brought you across the pond?
Oh, I'm working at the British Museum. I'm an archaeologist, and we're doing a program through, it's like a joint French-British thing that we're doing. And so I'm here.
Ah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna kick back a few more.
Billy also is going to take a sip from her champagne. Maybe not throw it back, but she will take a healthy sip from her champagne glass.
I think this is the moment that Lady Montgomery has been staring at me for so long that I do feel obliged to leave the company of Captain Elliot. And I will tell him our plans, we will get back to them. Just think about who deserves it most.
Oh, I already have a few candidates. I'll run them by you later.
Yes. And I'll just circle the room, gliding, judging.
As you do.
As I do.
I think Fiero's really trying to hang out and kind of elbow and get Mr. Connor to talk. He's really trying to include him in the conversation, big time.
Well, when Miss Stone gets a little occupied by Billy, Mr. Connor is on his own.
So what do you do, sir? I feel like I've heard your name, but I can't say I know much about you.
I've been abroad for a while. I work in translation. And,
oh, what language do you translate from?
well, I speak 14 languages.
Wow.
I have been told that is the only thing I do. I prefer it when it's written.
Well, I should think not. You look like a Renaissance man to me, sir. I think you could do a great many things.
No, I know.
You know what it sounds like to me? That you need to unlock your potential, Mr. Connor. Have you ever heard of any kind of leans in conspiratorially? Aztec virility herbs?
No. I mean, I've heard of Aztecs.
Of course. I'm certain that you've studied some of the language descendants of that you speak Smitty.
Yes, I translated some of the tablets that they found, but they didn't mention the thing you said.
Well, since you've translated the tablets, you know that Aztecs had exceptional warriors that went around brandishing those obsidian-embedded flails, right, to tear their enemies to shreds. And, it takes a great deal of strength to lift those things. And you know what their secret was, Mr. Connor?
They trained a lot?
Well, yes, but how did they get the energy for that? Where did they unlock that secret to manhood? It's all in the herbs, good sir. We, in this modern society, have lost the organic path back to the herbs. And I, as your doctor here, can help you unlock that path back to what a man should be. With just 3 payments.
I was so close to keeping a straight face.
Can I walk by en say to Mr. Connor, als u 30 talen spreekt, spreekt u dan ook de mijne en moet ik u redden?
Ja, en heel graag.
Oh, hello, Mr. Connor. How nice to see you again.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I really need to speak to him again. And I will take Mr. Connor to like a few meters away and say...
He gives this very half-hearted wave over his shoulder to...
Yes.
I was going to ask if I could roll for charm to see if it really worked or see if he was...
He is currently being forcibly moved by a very large woman.
Well, I asked if he wanted to be moved.
This is true. But no, for those of you who hadn't guessed yet, one of my players and I speak the same language that isn't English. And in this case, there was a quick check with the NPC if he needed to be saved. He's like, yes, I need to be saved.
I asked him if he spoke my language as well, and if he needed to be saved. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that Dr. Roy was overruled by a princess. But you are so far the only one other than the princess who actually got him to talk. So there's an in. He didn't run away crying. That's high praise for Mr. Connor.
Well, as I've got you here now, Mr. Connor, you seem a little bit out of sorts. You're a bit quiet. Everyone's trying to get you to talk. What's your secret? Why are you here?
I don't have a secret. Lady Dorsey is friends with me. Sometimes I'm friends with her, but sometimes I forget.
You forget?
It's when I'm working. I just work. But then she reminds me I shouldn't just work, and I go to these things, and then I go back to work.
And have you had a drink yet?
I have water.
And she's very what?
She's very persistent.
Persistent.
She doesn't like no. That's not no.
No. You can say no. You know that, right?
Sometimes.
But why does she force you? What is it that she likes about you? I know you speak 30 languages, including mine. I only speak about
14.
14. Oof. I only speak...
But a lot of them are similar.
This is true. I only speak 3.5. 4 maybe.
That's depending on where you're from, that's a lot or not a lot at all.
Well, you know where I'm from. I just spoke to you in my native language.
You usually speak like 3, 4.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yes. No. This is my normal.
Yeah. Okay. So just so you know, if you want me to save you again, just speak to me in Dutch. And I think I'll leave you now because you look a little bit stressed out that I've been talking to you for like 2 minutes.
You're just a
lot?
And a girl.
Well,
titled. I don't think this.
Oh, don't worry about the title thing. It's just I got it when I was born.
That's actually funny.
I know. Yeah, okay. Well, just take care of yourself and don't let the doctor bully you into buying anything.
He seemed nice.
He is, but he also wants your money.
Well, I don't have any.
Oh, good. Now, have
That's
another
fine.
drink and
I'll have
keep
more.
breathing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. You as you walk away, you hear this sigh of relief. And with that, I think I would like to suggest we go to our quick break for all of us to quickly stretch our legs, have refills,
Change for dinner?
change for dinner. It is almost
Okay.
time for dinner. Well, we're going to break. Of course, our lovely viewers can head over to Roll20 and sign up for a free account, which is what we're using, and it's amazing. And I will make the music work during our break. Promise. I don't know how, but I'll make it work. That will be my break, getting the music to play. And we'll have some nice music over dinner. I mean, some of us have to head downstairs for tea, so 10 minutes?
10
Okay.
minutes is fine.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
back in 10?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds
sounds
good.
good.
Alright. And I guess
Great.
I will see you in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If you get a second during break, you should check out one of our amazing sponsors. We're now proudly sponsored by Roll20, the best virtual tabletop for all your role-playing needs. Over 4 million people use Roll20's virtual tabletop to power their favorite games. And with more modules than you can shake a stick at on their new revamped storefront, you'll definitely find something for your group to enjoy. Sign up today by clicking the link below or heading to roll20.net/start/WTTP. Tabletop Loot is an amazing place to get your dice bags, dice boxes, and more. And now you can get 15% off your purchase at tabletoploot.com by using the code WTTPDICE at checkout. Tabletop Loot. Your party starts here. While you're at it, check out our so awesome merch store, So Nerdware. So Nerdware is the place to find all your Welcome to the Party merch and other amazing stuff too. Head on over to sonerdware.com and use the code WELCOME at checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. So Nerdware. It's what the nerds wear. Devin Rue, the amazing mistress of maps, has kindly supported the channel since the beginning and provides graphics for many of our streams. Head on over to rueinc.com to check out some of the best fantasy cartography on the web. Our Patreon supports the creators and producers of the channel by providing Roll20 subscriptions, cost coverage for video hosting, and more. If you want to support the channel while getting podcasts a week early, gaming articles that are published on Patreon first, a shout out during our break, and more, head on over to patreon.com/welcomepartyrpg and throw us a $1 or $5. And last, but certainly not least, help out the party. Subs and bits not only support the stream, but also every 500 bits or a tier 1 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a reroll or system equivalent, and every 1000 bits or tier 2 sub gives a player or DM of your choice a crit or system equivalent. Thanks again for hanging out with us today. The game will be back in just a few minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And welcome back. Those who needed to change for dinner have changed for dinner, as you can see. And I need to retcon something because I already did something wrong in my first session in the first half hour. When Lady Dorsey suggested someone would potentially sing after dinner, I asked the wrong character. I asked the archaeologist instead of the singer. I'm very sorry.
God, not all America.
I mean, Billy can sing, but that isn't her job.
In my defense, I have a very badly written post-it here. Okay, I blame my own handwriting.
She would have gotten up if someone had asked, but
let's just make it karaoke. Everybody sings. No.
Exactly.
All Americans look the same to Lady Dorsey.
I would like to be offended on her behalf, but it's probably at least a little true. Technically, if we're going true to character, Miss McCown would be the one who would be the more logical choice.
Yes.
The one who has a better reputation, singing wise, at least.
Logic say what?
Just one of the crass Americans. We'll make it work. So having said that, we left after Princess Sophia rescued and then made uncomfortable Mr. Connor.
I tried.
You did. He has issues. And I believe I remember that Mr. Elliot, Captain Elliot, my sincere apologies, wanted to try and have a little trip and speak to Lady Montgomery?
Lady Dorsey.
Lady Dorsey. Well, she is at the bar. Was occupied by Lady Montgomery, who is lured away with the draw of changing for dinner.
Excellent. Well, just before I pop upstairs to go and change into something a little less comfortable, I'll wander over to the bar and just engage Lady Dorsey in a little bit of light chat. I'm trying to gauge her mood and see whether or not she'll let slip why she's invited us all here.
Okay. Her mood, like I said, she's usually very lively and effervescent. She's verging on bubbly. Roll me a psychology.
Okay, this probably won't go well.
No faith in the system.
No, I just don't think I'm gonna.
Oh no.
No.
No, she's just thrilled. Just thrilled.
Just thrilled. I'll engage her in small talk and sort of try and charm her a little so she feels kind of on my side. And then I'm going to disappear upstairs.
Yeah. No, she's very you can't pry the secret away from her. She's just very, oh no, I'm not giving anything away. You all have to wait.
I see a secret. Well, I like surprises.
Oh, wonderful. We're gonna have an amazing time then.
I'm sure we will. And with that, I'll kind of give her a little glance and then I'll wander upstairs.
She meets your glance. There's no coy nonsense.
Excellent. And I'll, as elegantly as I can, remove myself from the situation and go and get changed for dinner.
All right. I think most people brought a change of clothes. Some borrowed, some tailored. Everyone looks fancy. Is there anything your characters, other than changing clothes, need to do in this moment between drinks and dinner?
I will check on Lady Montgomery if her husband is already too far gone, or should one of us sit next to him at dinner to make sure he stays upright? I mean, just the usual.
I think
Honey?
Fiero
It's better?
brings down. Oh.
Sorry, I was muted. No, Lady
Hi.
Montgomery is picking through Princess Sophia's jewelry collection to find all the blue stones she was allowed to borrow.
Yes. Yes,
Um,
Edna, the blue ones. It's okay. Just keep them safe. They're present from my aunt.
you do see. Actually, roll me a spot check before I give things away.
Ooh, I get to roll things.
You
How do
do.
I do that again?
You go to your character sheet.
Oh, the spot
you
hidden.
Find spot hidden, and you click the green
Yes.
button.
I have, and I have an extreme result.
Extreme success. That is actually very good. You
I see all the things.
You see all the things. What you see carries this tiny little purse. It's less of a purse, more like this little what's the English word, velvet bag that she slips some of her jewelry into, and then slips into her pocket. You, with an extreme success, you also see that Lord Montgomery suddenly isn't as drunk as he was downstairs. He is, however, shamelessly flirting with your lady's maid, who looks moderately uncomfortable, but very, oh, this again.
Yeah. Okay, but to reiterate, she has a velvet bag where she has slipped her own jewelry into whilst looking through mine.
Yes. Well, she picked yours. She put yours on, checked everything was good, grabbed her jewelry, slipped it into a little velvet bag, and slipped it into her pocket.
Well, that's okay. That seems not untoward, but yeah. Lord Montgomery, are you going to be okay at dinner? You were hitting it hard.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I'll be fine. I was drinking when you were still a fetus.
This is probably true, but you were also sleeping in the garden last party.
It was lovely weather, and we were going to go hunting in the morning anyway.
Okay, it was. And lay off Alida, will you?
Oh, but she's such a darling girl.
She is a girl.
Yes,
Not
very much more finely built, and never mind.
I'll tell the queen you said that.
He says it with this leering wink at Alida.
Verdomme, al die mensen. Elke keer, hè? Nee, het is allemaal goed.
Alida does the polite thing and doesn't respond to your outburst in public. Semi-public.
Also Dutch. Oh, I was just commenting to Alida how lovely you are to host me.
Oh, not a problem, dear. We have to help the younger generation, you know.
Yes. Now, Edna, if you were to get out of my suitcase now so I can get dressed.
Of course.
Yes.
Edna sort of swans off to check her stockings or whatever she does. Anyone else doing anything interesting? Cheeky question. Is Miss Johnson sharing a space with Mr. Devereaux, or has he let you off on your own, praying you don't suddenly show up in trousers?
They
behave. Get changed and behave.
Yeah, they changed in separate rooms, but he did come to her room before they went downstairs. Like he escorted her. No.
Yeah.
He escorted her downstairs just to check to make sure. You know, he's like, oh, just wanted to check and make sure you were okay and if you knew your way back downstairs. But he is checking to see how she looks.
Just a quick check. Appropriate, yes or no?
Yes, appropriate, yes or no.
He does. If I'd known women were going to be wearing trousers, I'd of course let you, but I didn't. And I thought, best to err on the side of caution. You know my mother.
Yes. Billy is understanding, of course. She has gone to events where you have to get dressed up, as part of the fundraising for getting money for digs and things. So she does sort of know her way around these events and news, what's appropriate and what's not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You all have separate rooms then. If Miss McCowan could please roll me a spot hidden check.
Okie dokie. Oh, wait, is that the right? No, this one? Other one?
No, green one, please.
Okay.
We'll forget this one. We'll ignore that it's a fail. We'll call it, see, we'll discount the success. You mainly packed your own bags, I think you said?
Mm-hmm.
In your bag, while you're going through your stuff, trying to find that one earring that slipped down somewhere along the side, you find a little slip of paper that seems to be torn out of a notebook of some sort. And I will DM you what it says.
Oh.
Ooh, secrets.
And it's handwritten and not in a handwriting you recognize.
Oh. Okay. She's going to take that piece of paper, crumple it up, and for now, shove it back in her bag. Just because, yeah, no.
Okay.
Not risking that one.
Back in the bag it goes.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, nothing else fascinating, interesting moment. You are all requested back down for dinner. Very modern, no seating arrangement, so you may sit where you please.
I may be terribly overdressed for this because I'm wearing tails and a white tie and the whole 9 yards.
I'm going to say Nathaniel would be wearing something similar, so you are not the only one there.
Excellent.
Princess Sophia is in full evening gown with gloves, so it's appropriate.
Yes.
Fierro's dressed perfectly appropriate for someone of his station.
Stature.
Yes, Billy would, of course, have an appropriate outfit on, if not maybe quite as fancy. It's not a ball gown or anything, but it is an evening dress with all the accessories that should be worn. Yeah, should be worn. Yes.
Miss Stone is actually in a dress now instead of in trousers. But the I think most of us have looked at 1920s pictures while we prepared for this. It's the kind that's just a little short. The kind that has like fringes where you would expect more fabric. If she moves, there's knees.
My favorite kind of dress.
Escandalous.
Oh yes.
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 Scandalous.
But fashionable.
I think Fierro goes over to where Princess Sophia is and scoots her chair out for her so she can have a seat at the table.
I will just wait a tiny bit too long to sit down because we haven't been properly introduced, and this is very, very forward of him. But I will sit down and give him a nod.
He just blinks at you a couple times and smiles and waits patiently.
I give him a nod and then turn to the other side.
Where your judgy-looking Lady Montgomery has taken a seat.
What kind of looking?
Judgmental.
Oh, yeah.
Knees. Sophia knees.
Well, they are part of a human's anatomy, Lady Montgomery.
You see a look you've seen before as Lord Montgomery sits down next to Miss Stone.
Ah, knees.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit opposite the princess.
All right.
All right.
Captain Elliot, have you met Lady Montgomery?
No, I may have done.
We've been in the same room.
Yes, well, this is Lady Montgomery. Lady Montgomery, this is Captain Elliot. He loves reading. He's a very big reader, loves books.
Absolutely. I'm an absolute worm when it comes to books.
Oh, I'm sure you're a worm in many other ways as well.
I'm sure I am.
I will put her in the side.
I mean, wonderful. What's the latest book you read?
Oscar Wilde, Lady Chaston, Lady Windermere's fan. You should read it. Tremendous.
I'll put it on my reading list.
Billy's going to.
Sorry, just out of character, did she get the rather pointed reference?
Oh no, she is clueless.
Perfect.
She has no clue what you're on about. Last time, she hasn't read a book since before the war.
Fantastic.
Nathaniel's going to pull out a chair for Billy across the table from the princess. So I guess she is sitting next to Elliot. And
opposite Dr. Roy.
Yes, opposite Dr. Roy. So she sits down and Nathaniel sits down on the other side of her.
Yep.
And she smiles a little at the Lady Windermere's fan reference because she has, of course, read the book as well. But she doesn't say anything. She just kind of smiles.
Miss Johnson, was it?
Yes.
Yes. I hear you are a professional lady. What is it exactly you do?
Oh, I'm an archaeologist. So we look for relics from other eras and other people who have lived on lands that are now, part of cities and things like that. Yes. Very long gone.
Yes. Well, that's fascinating. Isn't it hard being a woman in such a male-dominated field?
Oh, of course it is. But, I'm very independent. I've learned how to look after myself, how to be able to speak up for myself. So I'm not worried. I do have to work a little bit harder than men in my field, of course, but I'm getting there. I'm very successful.
I applaud you. I'm very, very fond of women making their own way in the world.
Well, that's very good to hear. I appreciate that, especially from someone of your stature and your standing.
Oh, you haven't heard. Thank God. Yeah, well, some people are more into the European royal houses know of my arrests for the female vote thingies. Yes. And, I had to go abroad to just, I got it fixed. Now let's get it fixed here.
Yes, exactly.
The British are always a bit behind us.
Oh, of course. Because
yes, Ms. Johnson. Do you find that it's easier to do your profession in the Americas? I found that women have a measure more freedom and expression over there. I enjoyed my.
Oh yes, a man's opinion.
I do. Yes, I do find that women have a little more freedom over there, but it also, the color of my skin is more of a problem there. So I came to France. I don't have much of an issue here. The voting is an issue here over here, but that's very similar to how it is in America. So, but I do find I have a little bit more freedom, and that people judge me less for the color of my skin over here.
Really? That's fantastic. I found a similar thing. I think my mother, of course, was one of those from south of the United States, of course, in Mexico.
Okay.
I haven't faced as much, I think, as you have, as I can pass as kind of one of the Caucasian folks around here. But I get a troubling amount of inquiries into phrenology. It's all nonsense, of course.
Yes, of course.
So, Miss McCown, would you care to have a seat next to me, or would you care to sit with us?
Oh, yes, of course. She'll go ahead and sit next to the doctor. And really, she just kind of had this like bored look on her face when it came to like talking politics and stuff. So yeah.
Are you enjoying the alcohol over here? I understand that it's not exactly readily available anymore in the United States. I don't drink myself. I believe in the purity of the body as well, but I do believe that everyone should have a choice.
Yeah. It's quite nice, quite nice. It's definitely a bit of an adjustment, but I'm getting used to it.
You said you were abroad, Princess Sophia. Where did you find yourself?
Excuse me? I find myself right here.
Pardon me. Earlier, you said you had gone abroad before. I was just curious where you travelled.
Well, right here. I am Dutch. I am from the Netherlands. I am the second cousin to the Queen of the Netherlands, Queen Wilhelmina of Orange.
I see. I apologies. I assumed that
I'm
you
like
had traveled.
umpteenth in line to the throne, but still.
Fantastic.
Yes, and you're a big traveler, Dr. Roy?
Oh yes, I've traveled all over. I prefer the United States. I do love New York City. There's nothing like it, in my opinion, over here. But I've traveled all over the world, including back to Mexico, where my mother is from.
Yes, your mother. Is she still with us?
No, my late mother has passed some years since, but she lived a long, long life, as they have a more organic way of living down there. Very back down to the earth, as I think that all people should. Leads a long life.
And why did you leave exactly?
Because I believe that it should be spread around the world. This wisdom of living as man should live is what I think.
Well, let's keep it to the men then.
Well, I say man as in mankind, of course, but I believe that women as
one
well.
Of those.
I believe that women as well can unlock the potential inside of them to do great feats of strength and wits. Tenacity is the best thing that a person can have in this world. Determination as well.
Forgive me for being forward, Doctor, but you seem to be talking yourself into a bit of a corner. You might want to.
So it seems.
Oh, my dear doctor, perhaps I can offer you a glass of wine.
I don't.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't believe in it. You can offer me one.
How
please.
terribly unfortunate. My lady, my princess, of course I would be delighted to do so. What would you prefer? White, red, champagne?
Surprise me.
Oh, do we have any 1900 Bollinger champagne?
As you ask this, the food services started, and I think they're actually called waiters, but like I said, I lost my Wikipedia page.
Footman.
Footman. It would be footman.
There's one butler and a lot of footmen.
Footman.
The servant, minion, peon, the peon, quietly informs you that the wine selection has been made by the head sommelier, and all wines are selected for the food course they will accompany.
Okie dokie. I don't suppose one could have a bottle of bottle of the bubbly is just on the side.
Always.
It's for the princess.
No,
Indeed.
a bottle of bubblies, of course, sir.
Yeah, Bollinger, 1900, if you have it.
I'll have a look. And by that he means check it with Lady Dorsey.
Yeah, what's that? 1900 was the last great year of champagne. So.
Yes, of course. That wasn't in character. I just think your character's a snob.
Oh God, he is. Yeah, hell yes.
That's why we get along so well.
Completely. He is a total member of the British upper classes of the 1920s.
Yes. Well, you're guesting with someone who is also a member of the upper class in 1920s, but tries to buck the trend by being a very hip flapper. So you do get your bottle of 1900s bubblies.
Excellent.
Served by staff that looks, what's the word? Almost relieved that there's a return to form. That there are proper snobs who know their place in the world, as opposed to a 30-something flapper running around spending her family's hard-earned money. And by hard-earned, I mean mainly inherited, but it feels like work.
I will give them my tried and true, I see you're doing your job perfectly, and I will not acknowledge it wordly because that would only make you feel embarrassed.
Oh,
Smile.
yes, very good. Acknowledgement without seeing them, it's perfect. The rest of you get you have the perfect spread, the several wine glasses. You notice Lady Dorsey, even though the wine is perfectly paired with the food, sticks to the champagne cocktails and some smaller from a snifter. You're not sure what it is, but it seems to be making her very happy. She has set herself down on the other side of Miss Stone, who is next to Lord Montgomery. Lady Montgomery on the other side has a dinner buddy in Mr. Connor, who still looks very unhappy to be here. And there's actually an empty seat next to Mr. Connor, putting him not quite next to Lady Dorsey, something he doesn't seem to object to too much. And they start by serving the first course, which is a lovely, it's probably supposed to be a salad, but there's also quail eggs. So not just, like, they don't do vegetarian yet. I'm sorry, Dr. Roy. No organic herbal return to nature. Just stuffy 1920s upper class.
Well, it's still all from the estate, so it's local.
It is locally sourced, yes. The groundskeeper sends people out to gather.
One assumes they still have the Dorsey family chef, Anatole, who would be pumping the stuff out.
Well, that's also a what is the I don't know if you would notice, but maybe your manservant told you this while you were changing, because you sent him around a little bit. It's very unusual, but the head cook, the head of the kitchen, is actually a woman here.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Again, much to the chagrin of some other staff members. But the food's amazing. Those of you who have more informal relations to your servants, so Lady Alida and Reeves, who went around and checked up on things a little while you were having the first round of drinks downstairs. They can tell you that there's a bit of a split in staff with, like, I wouldn't call them old, because that immediately paints this picture of people with gray hair, but the elderly staff who were inherited from Lady Dorsey's father, who do still would like this to be upper crust, stiff upper lip, none of this flapper nonsense, just behave. And
out of character, you really have to watch Downton Abbey because this is like one of the plot points, and it's amazing.
Really?
Yes. Or upstairs, downstairs. That's
one too.
Yeah,
yes.
I'll add it to my to watch list, but I already don't have a life. I'll add it.
But you're doing amazing, sweetie.
Oh, thank you. Bless your heart, darling. But yeah, there's also like the new hires who are here to zhuzh things up a little and who don't mind pants wearing, smoking whiskey for breakfast, and then we go hunting Lady Dorsey and the way she's decided to live her life. Yeah, general dinner conversation. I think about if there's no one in particular you need to talk to, check with, seduce.
Not yet.
Captain Elliot, have you spoken to Lady Dorsey before this evening? Why exactly did she summon us on this short notice? Is there anything special about tonight?
What is the date, by the way?
It is October 2nd, 1924.
I'm not aware that the date itself is in any way significant, Your Highness. And usually, I have to say, I normally am expecting a tad more time before one normally responds to these kinds of things. But I didn't have any plans for the weekend, and of course, the Lady Dorsey family are friends with mine, so I felt one ought to support her and come along and enjoy Anatole's cooking.
Well, my maid tells me there's a woman in the kitchen, so I don't think Anatole's still here.
No, well, whoever she is, she has a very light touch, I have to say. I'm impressed by the quality of the work.
Yeah, and also you can niche on Your Highness. It's it's just.
What would be the appropriate method of address for you?
It is the appropriate method, but it is a bit stuffy, isn't it?
You see Lady Montgomery go, oh yes, and we mustn't be stuffy.
No. Must we? Come on, Edna.
Just leave this out of your letters home.
Mode of address that you deem appropriate, I will be more than happy to adopt.
Well, I'll call you Captain Elliot. You call me Princess Sophia.
Of course, Princess Sophia.
So,
may I offer you more champagne?
Oh, always. And have we decided who we're going to embarrass yet?
I was rather thinking either one of your two escorts.
They are very good at that themselves, usually. Just wait.
Well, perhaps it's possible that at some point in the not too distant future, we might accelerate the process.
Maybe. I thought Miss Stone was a bit rude.
I have yet to speak to the young lady, but I'm more than happy to take your perceptions on this matter.
Well, I mean, she's interesting to look at, but besides that, is she really interesting enough? I think we could make her more interesting.
I'm more than happy to be led in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm easily led.
Are you? I shall make a note of that.
And I'm going to carry on having a conversation as we eat our way through the meal. And I will make a point of complimenting Lady Dorsey's chef to her face, so that she's aware of the fact that I at least, and I'm sure more people, think that the food is very good.
Wonderful. I'll tell Louise you said so.
Louise, last time I dined here, Anatole was the chef. Is Louise your new head of chef department?
Oh yes, no. Oh, Anatole had some troubles, and we had to let him go. Unfortunately, it was it's really quite upsetting.
Well, you
But
seem to
Quite
have found
sudden
somebody.
as well.
What
You
happened?
seem to have found somebody equally as good. So,
Oh yes, no. Miss Emerson is amazing. She came over quite recently. Studied in France for a while.
excellent.
You know, originally not as head chef, being a woman, but I like to think I give people more of a fair chance.
Lady Dorsey, I don't want to upset you, but you said it was upsetting. He was so long in this house? What happened?
That's just a thing. We're not even really sure. It just his room was empty. He didn't collect his last paycheck. We're
So
not
he just
sure.
went missing.
Well, his room was empty. I assume he packed and left. People who go missing leave things behind.
Well, he
I
left
don't know what I
his
said to have
last
upset
check.
him. Oh, clearly he had
Perhaps he
problems.
just had a family problem.
Exactly. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't pry into his personal life. I have no idea what could have been going on with him. Honestly, that sort of thing I usually leave to Mr. Murphy. It's really not up to me to manage the staff to that level.
Mr. Murphy was again. I'm meeting so many people today.
Mr. Murphy is he was my father's valet. But of course, I don't need a valet, so he's currently just the head of household.
How interesting! A woman cook, a man head of house.
Well, I had to keep him on. He'd been with the family for so many years, and what else was I going to let him do?
And that doesn't conflict with the butler or anything?
If it does, they don't bring their problems to me.
Wow. So modern, I love it.
I'm making a mental note to get Reeves to sort of chat amongst the servants and find out what happened to Anatole.
All right.
Yes.
Lady Dorsey.
I'm interested as well, even though I'm not really familiar with Anatole, but gossip is gossip. So
gossip is good.
Billy's sort of making a mental note as well to ask the lady's maid they brought with them about what's going on later on.
Actually, everyone who is at least sidelong paying attention to this conversation can roll either spot hidden or psychology, depending on which one you prefer.
Yeah, I'd like to roll
Probably the
psychology.
one which is probably one you're best at.
Wow.
Oof.
Oof.
Ooh.
Ooh. Those are some interesting rolls, guys.
Hold on a sec. Let me get my...
Ooh, Billy.
A whole bunch of fails and 2 extreme successes.
Yeah, 2 of you. The
2
rest
of you
us
know
are
things.
oblivious.
Yep.
Okay, those of you with an extreme success, you notice that Lady Dorsey is not just while mentioning what happened to Anatole, but in general, getting a little jumpy, a little nervous. She's still very outgoing and having a good time and party, but it's starting to, there's this little twitch near her eye, maybe. You're not sure what's giving it away, but she's starting to get a little...
Does Dr. Roy, as a doctor, think perhaps she might be on a substance of some kind?
If I remember correctly, you have a medicine check.
Oh, it's a first aid check. Let me see.
First aid or medicine, both is fine, whichever you want.
Okay.
Whatever makes you happy.
Oh, no.
It's hard to tell. Maybe she's just really excited. I will point out to all of you, as a reminder, because we mentioned this in the session 0, you have luck. And you can spend luck points in some cases. I'm seeing a lot of rolls where you wouldn't want to do that. But you can spend luck points to bring down your rolled result and maybe make something a success. For example, Irene rolled a 39 and her value is 35. She could have spent 4 luck points to make that fail a success.
Okay.
And since I usually encourage people spending luck and it's an 8-week campaign, we'll be rolling to see if you regain any luck at the end of every episode. So it's not necessarily a very finite amount that you have. You can try and regain luck.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, if you have your treasured possession, person, place, etc., you can try and spend time with that once you start losing sanity, to try and regain some sanity as well. So not everything you lose is gone forever.
Okay.
There is always an option to hit rock bottom, but you can delay the way down.
Now, Lady Darcy, can you maybe enlighten me why this extremely nice fete was announced so late? You're usually more precise in these things.
Oh yes, no, it was very spur of the moment. I was planning many parties, and there was this gap in the calendar. And then I had this lovely surprise for all of you, which I think you'll be very excited about. So we decided to turn that into a party as well.
Nice.
Yes, after dinner.
Can't you give us like a little hint?
Oh, where would be
What
the
to
fun in
expect?
that?
Well, to heighten the anticipation.
Oh, I think you're quite excited as it is. I know I am.
Uh-huh.
I'm all quiver.
Could I roll a psychology
Brilliant.
check to try to get like a general just read?
Sure.
Like, see if there's a way. Well, it doesn't matter anyway.
She's very British, hard to read. So yeah, dinner progresses. I think I'm counting courses and trying to do time math in my head again, and I've already proven that that is not my strong point. I think you're just about to start the main course, and you can all roll me listen checks.
What was it?
Listen.
Listen. Okay.
Oof.
Nope.
No
Oh,
idea.
guys.
This is starting off so great.
That is, well, I was going to say this is very Call of Cthulhu, because failure across the boards is exactly what happened every time I've played this game. So at least you're doing it right.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
I am going to note
Too
down.
distracted by the delightful company.
Yes, I am going to note down a fumble for Elliot, because those do tend to come back and cause trouble for you. But for now, you're all just very surprised as a rather well-dressed man, also in perfect tails, everything, storms into the dining room, apologizes to Lady Dorsey for being so late, but she knows how it is, and sits down next to Mr. Connor, who has basically not said anything since dinner started. And he just goes, very sorry, I'm so late. Work ran late.
Lady Darcy, are you going to introduce us to your guest?
Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting. You don't all know him. He's practically furniture. He's here so often. Everyone, this is Mr. Sterling. He is the day manager at Dorsey and Sons.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Wonderful.
I'll shake hands.
He gets up to shake your hand. He came in and he downed the wine glass, and the servants are rushing over to refill it.
And what kept you from us on this gorgeous evening?
Ugh, the bane of my existence. Paperwork.
Don't know what that's like.
Oh, how blessed your life must be.
Uh,
I got to do customs forms.
oh, what are you importing?
Just about anything, really. I mean, Dorsey and Sons is eclectic. We just, specialty goods.
What sort of specialty goods, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, it depends. Things that we think will turn a profit. Sometimes it's spices, sometimes it's art, sometimes it's fabrics. Much to my regret, we made an attempt to import livestock at some point. That was a one-time event. Still cleaning warehouses.
Ugh, I would wish that on my worst enemy, sir. I'm sorry.
Fortunately, I can just give the order, but until they're clean, we can't store fabrics in the same room because they will smell bad. Apparently, silk is a very finicky fabric. But please, I interrupted many interesting conversations, I'm sure. Do return to what you were doing.
I'll go back to teaching Captain Elliot Dutch swear words.
He's having a delightful time learning them.
You know, the aristocracy is awfully behaved.
I know. Sometimes even from personal experience.
Mr. Connor? Mr. Connor? Hello? Mr. Connor?
Hi, hello.
Hi. Well, you speak 14 languages, and we were just talking about the interesting differences in swearing across languages.
Yes.
What language do you enjoy the swear words most?
German always sounds very harsh, but shouldn't speak too much German in public nowadays. That's I've been told.
We're not in public, are we?
It's all right. You can speak German. We won.
Wir haben gewonnen.
Yes. Yay. Russian always sounds very vocal. But the Dutch is an excellent. You have the back of the throat sound, and you I'm not you do diseases.
Yes, we do.
Whereas
we love swearing with diseases.
Yes, no, but in English we often insult parentage, but the Dutch don't seem to care so much.
Oh no, we don't care if people call us bastards. No.
No, it's just. No. But the diseases. Oddly, Spanish can be very convincing.
The fun thing about Spanish swear words is that they don't even sound like swear words sometimes. It's such a silky language that it just flows off the tongue like the rest of it.
But very, very. French is a terrible language to swear in. Everything just sounds fancy. But
it
Hungarian,
doesn't sound like swear words.
Exactly.
It sounds like you might be complimenting someone, but you're not. That's the beauty of it, though.
I like things to be clear. I think sometimes French is confusing.
I agree. One should never insult anyone, although you can always describe them accurately.
You can see Mr. Connor, he's starting to sweat a little. and Lady Montgomery on his other side is sort of going, there, darling.
Miss Johnson, do you ever find like ancient swear words on one of your digs, like carved into a bedpost or something?
Perhaps we do. I don't always know how to translate that. I do know Latin, I know French, but for say like Egyptian societies and things like that, I wouldn't be able to translate all the words.
Oh no, I don't expect you to speak ancient Aramaic fluently, but I was just wondering if you found obscenities.
Well, there doesn't tend to be that many obscenities in stuff that we're digging up. It's mostly pottery and things like that, or maybe bones of people. But we have come across some, written word things that they do have some inappropriate language at times.
For the first time, Mr. Connor actually breaks in and goes, it's fun fact, also kind of the Romans wrote down swear words and penis jokes.
Penis jokes? What? Shouldn't I say that? I'm sorry, this is not my first language.
No, you go right ahead.
Well, my cousin has this lovely Greek vase with a lot of young boys depicted on it doing all sorts of things.
I believe that's probably Greek.
Oh, well, the Romans were Romans quite loved their manly relationships themselves. Greeks too.
Dr.
Yes,
Roy, we
I
have
agree.
an actual archaeologist at the table. Let her talk.
Oh yes, of course. I mean, both Greek and Roman societies had their down low relationships, so to speak.
What would you say one of the most interesting things you found on a dig would be?
Well, I like finding the pottery. We do find like remains of buildings, which is interesting because we can look at, foundations that are still there and be able to kind of map out how a building would have looked and where it would have stood. So my specialty is really uncovering like a daily life, things people would do in daily life. Like I said, pottery, where they would have cooked, what they would have used to cook, and just being able to see how they live their life.
Fascinating.
Everyone roll me a spot hidden.
Again?
Yep.
Get used to it.
Ooh, I can.
Wait a second.
Extremely.
Lana nailed it.
Spot hidden. Oh, wait. Sorry. I think I hit the wrong button.
No worries.
It's the little green dice that's next to it. But,
yeah, no, I hit the wrong. Yeah, I see that. I don't know. Is it coming up?
Yep.
Ah,
you actually
sorry.
have a success.
Oh, yay.
2 successes and an extreme. So Captain Elliot and Miss... Oh, no. That is a weird roll. Oh, sorry, you failed. It came up very late.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I seem to be having an issue with roll 20, but
sometimes it does lag out a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Captain Elliot and Dr. Roy, I believe. When Miss Johnson starts to describe what sort of things she usually finds, and Princess Sophia notices this as well, you see her co-worker, Mr. Devereaux, he very briefly just pauses in what he's doing. Like he was like cutting up his food and suddenly he's like just a quick glance at Billy before he listens to what she's saying, seems to check her answer and just continues eating like nothing happened.
Do I get the impression that he was trying to make sure that she didn't say too much?
That is definitely the impression you got.
Okay.
As soon as she started on about, no, I just want to know what they did daily lives, and that's the most exciting thing. He just sort of went, and went back to his food.
Fascinating.
Mr. Devereaux, you're an archaeologist as well?
Yes, Miss Johnson and I work together.
Yes. You're so lucky to be working with such a very accomplished woman. Do you add anything?
Well, we don't always work together on the same digs, so I'd say we're not exactly in competition with each other.
What's your area of specialty, Mr. Devereaux?
Well, roughly the same as Miss Johnson. You know, old societies and how they lived.
Any particular society that you've honed in on as your particular specialty?
Well, I've been in France for a while, so you know, Romans, Normans.
Interesting.
Quite.
And such a conversationalist.
I'm very sorry we can't all be as flamboyant as your preferred company.
Do we have any of the bottle left?
Yes, Princess Sophia, indeed we do. And please, let me attend to your glass.
Not the easiest table tonight.
I was just thinking the same thing myself.
Yeah. Princess Sophia,
Hmm?
how much have you had to drink by now?
Well, don't forget I am a sturdy woman who is accustomed to drinking, but this will be my 4th drink.
All right, just keeping track.
Yeah, me too.
Very good.
1, 2, 3, many.
Accurate. Lady Dorsey is having a little side conversation with Mr. Sterling. And the rest of you are left to your own devices. Mr. Connor has clearly exhausted his words for the dinner and is just very much focused on his plate. Yeah. It looks like he dabbed off the sweat with his napkin, as inappropriate as that might be, but clearly he's over it. This is he hit some kind of limit.
Is Mr. Montgomery behaving?
Lord Montgomery.
I'm sorry, Lord Montgomery.
Lord Montgomery is actually behaving quite well. I mean, on his left side is Captain Elliot, so he's happily ignoring him. he's you know, whatever. And he has given up on Mr. Connor across from him. And he is regaling Ms. Stone with enchanting stories. Many of them very off color.
I'm gonna say, but Princess Sophia, are you sure you don't want to reconsider your target?
I do have to live with them.
I understand.
That's the thing. Don't what's the saying, you know?
I want
cook thing?
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
One understands perfectly.
Yeah. It's I would, trust me, I would, but I don't know how long I will be needing their hospitality.
I completely understand.
My cousin asked me to get myself out of the papers for a while, so here I am.
I completely understand. Discretion is, of course, the better part of valor.
Yeah. The thing is, being titled is all good and all, but it does feel like a cage sometimes.
I will say that as soon as Captain Elliot says discretion is the better part of valor, you get the vilest look from Lady Montgomery.
What, me or him?
Me, I'm sure.
Him.
Oh.
There's a reason you two haven't been introduced before.
Lady Montgomery, how are you enjoying the dinner?
Oh, as well as can be expected. Let's be honest, I'm mainly here for the after-dinner events.
Yeah, do you know anything more?
No, but I'm assuming drinking, dancing, and cards.
And the surprise?
Well, no, not really, no. I mean, I've been hearing rumors, but they're just rumors. Nonsense, really.
Yeah, okay. But, you know,
It's, I wonder if it's some sort of like mystery or something. You know, the Brits love their clue type dinner.
Parlor games! I love parlor
Yes.
games. Oh,
modern form of interactive dinner theater, perhaps.
Indeed.
yeah. And Lady Montgomery goes, in that case, I need to drink a little more. Excuse me, darling. If you have some of that bottle, please, Mr. Elliot.
Indeed, and in fact, what I'll do is I'll pour her a glass, and I'll ask one of the servants over and say, if you have another bottle, that would be rather pleasant. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Yes.
The staff just seems relieved someone is drinking this straight rather than in a cocktail.
I wouldn't defile vintage champagne in a cocktail. That would be beyond the pale.
Yes.
Miss McCown, you've been rather quiet. I've heard you have the loveliest voice.
Oh, so you've heard of me?
Well, I make it what's the word?
Habit?
Habit of trying to learn things about my fellow diners. And you are a singer?
Yeah. I used to work a bunch of nightclubs in New York, and after Prohibition, things started to go south a little bit money-wise, so that's why I moved out here.
So are you our surprise? Are you singing later?
I believe that's the... and she's just going to kind of motion to Lady Dorsey. Yeah.
Lady Dorsey, is she singing? That would be lovely.
Well, I said only if she wishes to. She's not here to work, she's here to party, but I have heard that singers love singing very much, so...
That would be lovely if we had some after dinner entertainment.
And Miss McCown's reputation precedes her. I understand that she sings like a nightingale.
Yes.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
Credit where credit is due.
But again, only if the mood strikes you.
Well, we'll see what happens after another drink or two.
Right as you say this, they're pouring the wine that will accompany the cheese platter.
Excellent. Hopefully a nice port.
Yes.
And once again, you're going to get sick of this before this campaign is over. I'd like listen checks. The song in my heart. Sorry. Oof. I'm writing down a lot of fumbles. I love you guys.
Listen.
Can't hear anything. Everyone's talking.
There's plates being cleared. There's the clatter of wine glasses.
I don't think my listen check went through. Hold on.
It might have just been delayed.
Yeah.
Lag. I did get a success.
I did see. I'm just gonna wait and see if she makes it. Otherwise,
No problem.
Otherwise, she doesn't know. She has to pretend she didn't hear me.
Yes. Yeah, I'm having quite a bit of a lag with Roll20. So
Have you tried like restarting?
Yeah, I did. I logged out and tried to log back in.
Billy, Jenna, why don't you just get a couple of percentage dice and on this one just make a roll?
Yep.
Okay.
Save the time.
Don't get any ideas, Lana.
Okay, so I got a 55.
A 55. And
What's your
let
skill?
me just grab your sheet to see what your skill level is. You have 20, so that would be a fail.
All right.
So you're also a little oblivious. Mr. Sorry, I do keep doing it. Captain Elliot, of course. You hear with, like, you have half an ear open while you're working the princess. You hear sort of like a commotion coming from the entranceway. Barking dogs for one.
Rather like that.
Rather
That
like
timing, though.
I know, right?
But with a little more shattered glass and raised voices.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm making the appearance of keeping sort of my attention on the dinner, but I'm very much now trying to listen out and trying to hear more and see if there's any kind of commotion or shouting I can hear.
Okay, well, you had a regular success and not an extreme one, so you do hear. There's no shouting. You don't get the feeling there's like fighting or an ongoing commotion. More that something happened and people are reacting to it.
Okay.
You hear a rather authoritative voice telling people to stop being ridiculous, clean the mess up, go back to work.
Okay. Oh, hopefully Reeves will get the SP on what just happened and he'll relay it to me a little bit later on.
All right. Any other pressing matters during dinner? Cheese plate has been served.
And continue to enjoy the meal and just make social chit chat with those people around me, apart from Lady Montgomery, who are prepared to do so.
I will keep my drinking a little bit to the minimum side from now on. I needed a starter, and now just a.
No, it's just
right
keeping your level.
Yeah.
No problem.
I have had many a state dinner before. I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Well trained.
Well practiced.
One could almost call her experienced. Sorry. As the dinner is winding down, the staff are excellent. They're clearly well trained. You haven't quite noticed it happening, but the lights have been dimmed a little. It's not quite candlelight, but you're kind of getting there. At some point, the door swings open to allow servers to pass in and out. You see people sweeping things up. At least Captain Elliot does, since he's primed. You see people sweeping up. It seems to be shards of a mirror that used to be in the entranceway.
How terribly unlucky.
7 years. And they start. Well, your glasses are perpetually full. There is no underpouring here in any way. And as you start to, well, in some cases, moderate yourself. I don't know if is everyone else. Are you just putting them away, or?
No, I'm very deliberately not drinking nearly as much as I seem to be drinking.
Okay. Yeah. Billy is she's not throwing them back, but she does have she can drink.
Having a few.
So yeah, she's had a few, but she's sipping at her drinks, so they are lasting a little longer. But she has definitely had at least 4 drinks probably.
If you had the champagne cocktail when you came in and the wine that matched every course, you're coming up on 6.
Okay. I will say that Billy has had all 6 of those drinks, but the wine with the courses, she may have not finished every glass.
Fair.
Yeah, I would probably say about the same for Irene. I mean, she threw the first 1 or 2 drinks back, but since then it's been more moderation.
Okay.
Yeah, I've didn't drink the champagne cocktail. I've had a glass of champagne, and I've had maybe a quarter of a glass of with each of the rest of the meal.
Dr. Roy has
is,
had no alcohol.
none.
Yeah, none.
It's not organic. Sorry.
Well, it kind of is because it's made of grapes.
I know. No, it's personal trauma. I once had to find vegan beer, and it was a half an hour of my life I can't get back. Anyway, as dinner is they're taking out plates, the dessert is being served. It's actually a very impressive looking construction. There's ice cream in there somewhere, but they built some kind of magical castle out of waffles. The servers are like, they're moving very deliberately because this is going to fall over at any second. But it's gorgeous. You hope it tastes as good as it looks. With a small dessert wine, very sweet. Like, just smelling it almost makes your teeth crack.
Can I take a listen to if Miss Stone has anything non-annoying to say?
Sure. She is a fair way away from you. Like, she's across and 2 people down. So you can make me a listen check to see how much you hear and how much of it's garbled.
I can make you a check.
Make me all the checks. I can tell you now, listen and spot are going to be your constant companions for the next 8 weeks.
I cannot hear a thing.
No, but you can hear the tone of her voice. Occasionally, isn't it very festive? And not in a I'm a bitch and I hate this place kind of way, but especially sometimes when she's talking with both Lord Montgomery on her left and Lady Dorsey on her right, a little aggravated. They clearly all know each other, and they're currently not on the best of terms.
Can I excuse myself?
And they're making Mr. Connor very, very unhappy with whatever it is they're saying.
If I were to go use the facilities, would I pass them?
Let me check my map. Yes, you would. You would have to go around them into the next room.
I would like to do that and take small steps.
Well, you're not wearing trousers. You need to be very careful how you move or something.
I shall stride, glide, any of things.
You're a big woman. If you stride, you're there in 2 spaces.
I will glide.
You will glide. Very good. You glide past them. As you glide past, it's not Miss Stone who's talking, but actually Lord Montgomery, who is sounding shockingly sober. As he sort of hisses at Lady Dorsey. You don't get the full sentence, but it's something about ridiculous circus and showboating.
Well, nothing I didn't know before. I will have to go and use the facilities to keep the ruse up.
Yes, you do.
Can I snoop about a bit on the way?
Yes. You first you go back out into the entrance, and then you go down actually quite a long corridor to the facilities. There's a few closed doors, so it depends on what you mean by snooping about. Are you opening doors, or are you just looking around, like on end tables, or?
I can always use the I am a foreigner, I didn't know, so I think I can get away with opening 2 wrong doors before I get the right one.
Okay. There's a number of doors to your left and right. Which one would you like to stealth into? Well, not stealth. Blunder into. Blunder into.
Is the last one the facilities?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take the one across from it and the one next to it.
All right.
To make it look real.
As you open the door, you come into like previously on this side was the sitting room, and now you're one big room next to it, which is clearly the ballroom. Very nice, very empty, a little dusty. And there's again, it's actually quite empty. Lots of room for dancing, as you want to do. Getting set up, possibly for later. There's a servant in here who just sort of bobs her head at you.
I'm terribly sorry. Wrong room.
Fine. Again, a mirror here, and you can make me a spell check.
Ooh. Can I though? Can I?
Can you?
No. I
No.
cannot.
There's a servant in a ballroom.
There certainly is.
Let's see. You go back out. Which other wrong door
There was
draws
the
your...
one across from the facilities and the one next to the
Yes.
facilities.
So, across from the facilities. It's very exciting. It's a pantry.
Anything in there?
Linens, mainly.
Meh.
All right.
Okay. I'll just use it and get back.
Okay. While you're in the facilities, however, again, a nice mirror so you can check your hair and everything else that might have shifted or moved or smudged. Require adjustment. So you can powder your nose without powder everything. As you, let's just say you're powdering your nose in a mirror, you see something behind you or someone. When you turn around, there's no one there. But as soon as you turn back to a mirror, it's almost a familiar shape.
I will touch the mirror.
As you touch the mirror, nothing happens.
Can I block it out?
Yes, you can.
And look around it?
Doesn't seem to... When you remove your hand, though, it has moved closer.
Yeah!
And you recognize your father's face.
Well, that's unnerving.
Yes, you may roll me a quick sanity check.
Thank you. Yay. That's the one... Where is that?
That's not with the skills, that's with your stats.
Yeah, I was...
Called
there. Yeah, I found it. Well, I'm okay.
You're okay.
This is fine.
You're probably just seeing things.
How much wine did I have again?
And the champagne Captain Elliot's been feeding you, it's...
Really, it's filled my glass up in between. I'm fine. This is fine. Okay. Let's go.
Perfectly fine. Back to the party. As you walk back to the party, you are passed by a servant who is carrying shards of broken mirror. From a mirror that probably used to be in the hallway. And as you re-enter the dining room, just ignoring what you just saw, getting ready,
fine.
like, yes, exactly. The court smile is back on. Right as you enter, instead of seeing the regular guests, it's like every person at that table is your father. And that's where we're going to end tonight's game.
Awesome.
I had to go. I
You did. You had to be the first one to leave the party. Thank you very much.
That was really good fun. Thank you very much.
It was.
Yes,
Good.
thank you.
All set up, but we'll get into the meaty bits soon enough.
I pass my sanity check and then you throw this.
Yes. Well, you don't need another sanity check right now.
No, not right now.
Not right now. Don't worry. There'll be plenty of
More
times
those, yeah.
you can have a sanity check. But we'll wrap it up here for tonight. We're 9 minutes from our official end time. which I think is pretty good.
No, perfect.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
right.
I'm gonna go and do the sponsor thing because otherwise I'm going to forget everything. We have Discord, we have Patreon, we have Roll20, we have Tabletop Loot. Again, I'm not allowed to buy more dice, so you need to do it because they're amazing and they need to stay in business. We have So Nerdware, we have Devin Rue, who I wish would make me a giant map on my wall, but it's impossible because she lives very far away. There's going to be other things on Welcome to the Party after us, but I don't know exactly what because I didn't check, and it's actually quite far after us. And we are raiding a channel called Serious Play, and we're just going to hop into their chat and have fun with them. And we will be back next week and see what's going on with Princess Sophia.
I'm fine.
She's fine. If we could all just go around and have everybody say where we can find you and how much you love me, and then we'll call it an evening.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the session. It was great fun. You can find me at DDarkweaver on Twitter, which I'm almost never on, or in the Discord channel at the Welcome to the Party. I'm often there. You're more than welcome to drop by and chat.
Okay. I am Philly Girl JL. That's PHILLY. Girl JL. It's all one word.
As it says on the overlay.
Yes, it is on the overlay.
We got the spelling correct in the
end. That's my web presence. So that's Instagram, Twitter. I don't use Twitter much. I'm mostly on Instagram. That's also me on Discord. I am on the Discord channel a lot, although I kind of lurk most of the time. But if you say hi to me, I will, I'll say hi back.
We appreciate our lurkers as well.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Roy.
I'm my @ is on Twitter. There is xcalliope. I do illustrations and D&D art. So if you want any of that, I'll be there. And I'm also around in Discord.
She did some of the artwork for my NPC for Lady Dorsey that my players saw on an invitation and in our Discord channel.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Which is awesome.
So good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So good.
Do go check out her Twitter and see what they want to do. Lana.
Yeah, you can find me at Lana Leesvoor, which is a very Dutch word which nobody can pronounce or spell. That's why it's down here. And as I am in a Northern European time zone, I will respond in times where nobody else will.
Kai?
Hey, I'm Kate, also known as Undead K online. You can Twitter stuff is a thing that I do. You can also find me here later tonight playing Blades in the Dark, Drop Point Knights, aka Drop Point Nigels. So yeah, also on the Discord, kind of a lurker. And yeah, this has been fun.
Cool. Oh my, that leaves just me. I am Anik. You can find me at Anikster on Twitter. I sometimes post a lot and then I suddenly forget I have a Twitter for a few weeks. It's mainly art and rants. So if you enjoy those, do follow me. I also hang out in Discord, but I'm also on a very Western European time zone, so I'm not always awake when the rest of you is, but I try. I do try. I also had fun today. I have also been informed you Twitch viewers will also be able to hear the music next week, which apparently you missed this week, so that'll be extra. And that's it for tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and we'll be back next week. And yeah, I think we're coming up on the slightly more twisty bits.
Yes, and we love you
All right.
so much, Anik. So
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
And Great job.
All right.
All right.
Right,
Bye.
guys. Have fun raiding. Serious play. Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.